Hardly high happy campers, only me, Mikey P. International domestic terrorist and all round loving chap. It's been a while, hope you're all well, still full of love and light, on a journey of self-improvement. So, I've been observing from afar for the minute, just while I work on a few bits and bobs. But here's my observations. We're forgetting the basics, people. It's commendable what people are still doing out there with the bailiffs and everything else. But we are forgetting the Billy basics. They are the Billy basics, guys. So I just want to run over a couple of little bits, just a little cheeky reminder, pass it around to your friends. Yeah, so let's go for it, because I can't be asked doing a second video. So the very first thing, guys, we need to be doing when the Octagon Blue Army, look up to what they are. That is the police. They are the enemy within. I think we've proven that with a few of the videos on Bannerman. We gave them the rope and they just consistently hang themselves. They're not here for the people, guys. Understand the difference between a policy enforcer, who are the Octagon Blue Army, and a police constable. A constable is there to keep the peace, to prevent harm, loss, injury, and obviously go and tell people off for doing such things, or if they've been dishonourable in the contract. That's it. That's the common law, if you like, which I'm not interested in. It's still a man-made law. Then you've got legislation, which is legal. Legal is to go against God, and if you dance with the devil, you're not going to win. So, I'll come on to that in a minute, because everyone's wasting their time with the energy getting harvested by doing all these fucking courts, because the courts don't exist, guys. Let's come back to the basics. I can do a separate little thing on all that, if you wish. So, the Billy basics are, guys, when the Octagon Blue Army turn up, the very first thing to do is asking for identification. The significance of this is because by producing the officer constable, it puts them into the officer constable. Without producing that, yes, they're right. They are working for the Crown. They're agents of the Crown, which A is against the Crown Act, but B, the Crown is a corporation, guys. Absolutely, they are working for the Crown, a private for-profit corporation where King Sausage Fingers, who's not a fucking king, is head of the World Economic Forum and all this other shit, trying to push cancer jabs and everything else, because they haven't quite killed off enough people yet with the COVID jabs, which are now slowly catching up with people with all the spike proteins and the rapid cancers and all this shit. So yeah, sorry, I do go off on a tangent. Yeah, so number one, people, ID. Get them into the officer constable, guys. That really changes the game once you go for remedy afterwards. Number two, nothing is valid without a valid court order. I've supplied this document many times. It's on the rapid response site, and it's the one I use. Although it does talk predominantly about repossessions, it does clearly state on the back of it, on the highlighted document, on the highlighted sections, nothing is valid without a valid court order that is civil and criminal. So to put that in perspective, not even a parking ticket is valid without a valid court order. It's that fucking simple, guys. And you don't really need to get much past that argument. Literally, that is it. The only other one you might want to utilise is the CPS document that I provided a billion times, which confirms direct from the CPS. I mean, ignore all the other gumph the CPS are talking on there. But what it does confirm is that the bailiffs can only do things peacefully. They're not allowed to use force. So they're the three main documents you need, guys, as far as I'm concerned. But what we need to do is no good shouting at the police and rah, 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 giving it all that. There's just no fucking point. You need to take them through a journey systematically. Go back and watch the video in Liverpool where the bell end nearly runs me over. When I take him through the journey and then kindly remind him or asked him, weren't you there last week? And you literally see his fucking whole well fall up his arse. He disappeared. You turn around, all the police are fucking gone and refuse to take statements, guys. I mean, that fucking says it all. And that's just by systematically, calmly taking them through a journey, just like sales, taking through the first document, taking through the second document, taking through the third document. You might want to pimp it a little bit and explain to them why they've been trained not to produce their warrant cards, because it puts them into the wrong office and that gets them in a lot of trouble. Because from my understanding, guys, I'm getting eaten by fucking midges here. By my understanding, these police are now, they're individually insured. Not only that, if you look up yourselves on a bit of legislation, if you report a wrongdoing to a copper and they do nothing about it, it clearly states in legislation that they're liable in their personal capacity. So I've literally, fucking little bastards, fuck off. I've covered myself in eucalyptus too, fuckers. Right, yeah, they're literally liable in their personal capacity, guys. Not that you're going to get much remedy in the courts, because you'll see there's consistency here, but no one seems to be listening. Because I've done this dance with my own cases. They'll just keep putting these cases back. The reason being, these warrants are an open-ended check. All roads lead to the children and the Sesquivy guys. That's the two forms of money they're using to get asset rich. So what you're going to find is there's a reason that they recruited mass magistrates a few years back, along with all the security, who just so happen to be dressing like the police. It's massive fucking psyop, guys. So what they're doing there, you're getting these corporation stamps with no accountability, no signatures, no names, and even as a signature, it's all everything's irrelevant without a valid court order, guys. But they're still just plodding along, fucking, and just being idiots doing what they want to do. And when I say it's corporation against corporation, it's corporation against your full caps name, which categorically, don't give a fuck what anyone says, it's your Sesame account, which is started when you're fucking born, which they're fleecing. So what they're doing is, every time they create these charges, the judge is the banker. That's all he is. He's a fucking cashier. The clerk is in charge of that shit show, and the judge is there, so the banker's there just to divert the currency, your currency, from your Sesame account, guys. So what they're doing here, they've got 3 bonds sat behind the counter. The appearance bond, the performance bond, and some other fucking shit. And because we're not endorsing them, they're endorsing them and claiming them at fucking £6 million each. 666. Shock fucking horror. And away we go. And that's how they're getting rich, guys. That money they're sending up to the Treasury. The Treasury is sending back fiat currency into their fucking limited company accounts. That's why they're doing the full caps limited company accounts. And that's how they're then getting asset rich, guys. That's what's going on. So the warrant is an open-ended check. Attached to that warrant should be an affidavit of truth witnessed by 3 laymen. There should be, what else should there be? The lien against the estate, your SESCB, the assessment and the value of assessment. All of these things are attached to the warrant. So understand, this is why they're dragging out these cases and then dropping them last minute. Like with mine, I thought I was getting somewhere, then he fucked me over last minute. They're dragging these out because they don't want this shit in the public, guys. They don't want any other evidence in the public. It exposes the whole fucking system. So they're just dragging it out to the last minute, laughing at us, and then fucking it all off and then cashing in the checks they've made and all the money they've made on us. They're laughing at us. All this paperwork we're doing under syntax grammar, I realised, after hundreds of hours of letting them harvest my energy with bullshit paperwork, unless you stipulate at the top God's truth, which is, in like equity, it's the words as intended as they fall out your fucking gob as a layman, as the average man understands it. That's God's truth, guys. So make sure you're popping that at the top of every single document, just so you don't get dragged into fucking syntax grammar fraud when you call it out. The language they're using is fucking midges. I do love nature, fucking midges. Yeah, under syntax grammar fraud, guys, it's hocus pocus. That's literally what it's called, because they're tricking us with the language. So if you change your perspective and reframe the situation, they're looking at a bunch of fucking noisy children, which is how they see us, with our favourite crayons scribbling fucking all these fucking shit that we don't even understand on a paper. Now, simply by putting God's fucking truth, God's truth, I'm going back over there, right, God's truth on the top of every document, and I mean every fucking document, so they can't get you back, it kind of negates that. Because if we need to establish the language, if we can't establish the language, we can't establish the fucking jurisdiction. We're already in, although private trusts are wonderful, we're already in a irrevocable fucking private trust based on the fucking book that everything's leaned upon, the fucking Bible. God created this and he gave it to us. We've always been the beneficiaries, guys. We just never realised it. And now we're the trustees, it's kind of our duty. We're indebted to Mother Earth from sapping all their resources and taking a piss, quite frankly. And we have to take accountability to the fact that it's because all of us have been a bunch of lazy bastards living a convenient life, letting them get away with it. So now it's time, guys, to actually stand up and stop playing these fucking games. If you're going to go after these people, I'm going to recommend you do an affidavit of truth from your own jurisdiction. It doesn't require their courts. It's the highest maximum law. The affidavit is the court, and left unrebutted, it stands as fact in law. So this is where, on my case, it was uploaded onto the DCS, and I stood there in court, and I told them this has been accepted as a foreign judgment. No one rebutted that, because it has been. They knew exactly what they was doing in that court. The problem is, I was in the wrong jurisdiction to do anything about it. So, I propose the way to do this is your affidavit of truth from the private, be it from the private man, private woman, or your private trust. And in there, you're the judge, you're the jury, and you're the executioner. And at the end of that document, everything left there is fact in law. That includes any unilateral contracts you've created and the money they owe if they don't rebut it, any fines, any bills that you whack down, any punishments. And then the only thing we need to do then is go and deal with whatever's on the affidavit. That might be selling it to a debt collection agency, whoever they might be. It might be, or doing whatever the punishment is, or whatever the remedy is, because it's all down there, and no one, and that's going to be more legitimate paperwork than every single bit of paperwork they're fucking using. So my advice would be go down that route. The affidavit of truth, and then this is where you might want to club together with a few of your mates to go and get the remedy. Obviously, I do not incite violence, so let's not twist it and think that I am. But remedy must be had. There's been another attack today. We're having slow D-Day landings every single day on our beaches. No one's doing nothing about it. We're under attack, getting completely infiltrated. We all know what they're doing. We all know the illegals are getting put up in hotels. We all know people are getting kicked out of the houses, and it's getting replaced with the illegals. Be under no uncertain times, guys. This is the Octagon Swiss Nazis plan in full force, with Nazism being inverted. Nazism is the eradication of the white man from Europe. And we all know who they're using as a front. It begins with J, and they're using the Muslims as a front. And then you've got the likes of Tommy Robinson, who's inciting hatred and violence between all these races because they want violence on the streets. Because they've already got the armies ready in the hotels to come and deal with that. So we can keep you fucking safe. About as safe as the fucking vaccine, yeah? So just bear this in mind, guys. Don't believe a word I fucking say as usual. Could be talking shit. Go and do your research. Start with the Swiss Octagon Templars. Go from there. And then seriously consider what I'm saying about coming in from the private guys. Get the fuck out of the cities, man. Get the fuck out of the cities. You don't want to be there. Under constant attack from the 5G and the Gwen Towers and everything else. I'm quietly, well, I know the power they've got and the things they do. They can put intrusive thoughts in your mind. They can do some nasty shit with frequencies. And I know that. There's something else I'm looking into. But that's a whole different story. So yeah, through all this, guys, again, there's no inciting of violence, just a little bit of, you know, education based on what I think I might know. All right, I could be full of shit, so don't listen to a word I say. Anyway, bit of a long video. Hope you enjoyed it. If you didn't, don't really care. If you're still watching it, you probably did. So listen, stay in the love, stay in the light. Remember, a spiritual warrior, the true Yeshua, he ain't the fluffy pussy they make out of these fucking bullshit fucking churches. This is your crown. This is your temple. Heaven is within. Heaven is growing to the extent that you can observe your emotions and without action on them. That's what it is. Hell is all this guilt we suffer, all this fucking bullshit childhood trauma, all this guilt, all this shame. Work on yourselves, guys. Become in love with yourself. Become your own best friend. Be able to look at that man in the mirror. Read the poem, The Man in the Glass. It says it all. Make peace there, yeah? And that's how we create heaven on earth. And then being a true spiritual warrior, guys, it doesn't mean we deal with these people with love. Fuck no. You didn't see Jesus hugging the bad people. I can assure you of that. Again, not inciting violence. Violence is very bad. But I do recommend that we start defending our own, guys. Much love. Peace out.